Still talking. This is GABNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, let's all sing. This is Alex Bennett, and this is the Ramble, and it goes until midnight Eastern Daylight Time. We'll have our citizens panel in just a little while, but first we got to check in with an old friend.
Ladies and gentlemen, here he is out from the west coast of the United States. Please join us in welcoming the fabulous Larry Bubbles Brown. Hello, Larry.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, Larry.
You know, we were talking about technology products that you liked, and you said you never had buyer's remorse.
On the Apple Watch, yeah.
Was there anything you bought you thought, wow, this is a waste of money?
Most stuff.
Most stuff.
Well, you know, especially when I had a lot of money in San Francisco, I would buy every gadget that came out. You know, I remember when I started making money, the first thing I bought was a 3D camera. Remember they had a 3D camera.
No, I didn't hear that.
What happened? They had a 3D camera, and you could shoot things in 3D, and then you send it off to the company, and they would send it back to you with these. Do you know how you used to have things like album covers and so on that were in 3D? They were called lenticular pictures. And they kind of had like you could run your finger across them and it was rippled, right? Mm-hmm. And that worked because you could see at two different angles by looking at this lenticular photograph. So what this would do is this would shoot lenticular photographs, and you would send it off the company, and they would send you back these lenticular photographs in 3D where I could look at them, and there were my animals in 3D and my friends in 3D. I wanted Robin Williams sticking his hand at the camera in 3D. I don't know where they are now. I know I didn't throw them away. They got to be in storage, but and I'm trying to remember what the name of the camera was, but they stopped making it after a while. But you had to send the stuff away to them to get the stuff developed. I never showed you any of those pictures.
No, I'd love to see those.
Wow, yeah. That was the first thing I bought when I had money. Okay.
You've got a museum in storage.
Kinda, yeah. Got all my shows. I have lots of bubs on tapes here. I mean,
got to go through those sometimes. Do you have? Did you keep the laser discs?
I got rid of them when I left California. They would not be worth shit today. You know.
But I always thought those were kind of ahead of their time, and I thought they were cool because of the size of an album. And
yeah, the only thing is the DVD came along and replaced them. I mean, these were huge discs, folks. These were like 12-inch discs with a big hole in the middle. And you would watch a movie, and then halfway through the movie, you'd have to stop it and turn the disc over, okay, and play the other side. There were some machines that came out, one of which I bought, where it would automatically switch to the other side, but that was not a big deal. But no, Laserdisc. I had hundreds of laser discs, and they were not cheap either, you know.
That was like mid-'80s,
and that's why I'm sitting here with no money. You know, because I bought shit like that, you know. Oh, no, these laser discs are going to be worth a fortune because everybody someday will have a laser disc player.
So how long a run did they have? Because the DVDs came out.
I would say the cognoscenti like myself who wanted to watch movies and watch them in rather pristine condition rather than these grainy DVD, VHS tapes that they were selling. It had a small market share. But, man, the people who were Laserdisc freaks were like loyal Laserdisc freaks. What happened is they didn't know how to merchandise it. When they first came out, they were called Laserdiscs. But MCA decided to release Universal Films on laser. But they changed the name of the process from Laserdisc to DiscoVision, which I thought was the stupidest name I ever heard. You know,
that's a bad
sounds
name,
to me like you're going to have to watch endless movies of John Travolta dancing. You know, DiscoVision.
Well, yeah, just disco had such a negative connotation.
Well, they thought it had a positive connotation, but they called it DiscoVision, and that kind of hurt it badly because they felt that they didn't want to say Laserdisc because then laser had this connotation of that's something that cuts into something. You know, you use lasers to cut into people's bodies. You use in science fiction, you use laser guns to kill people. So they didn't like the idea. You know, so. Anyway, it was what do you call it? A move because they felt the word laser was negative. After a while, everybody started calling them laser discs, and they started merchandising them as laser discs. But because in the very beginning they didn't have a good game plan, that throws you off. You know, that sets the tone for everything after that, and so they were a success among people like myself. I mean, nobody felt that there was a better delivery system for films than
you were the only one I know that had them. So
than laser discs. Yeah, so you know.
Remember, you had a Frankenstein movie we watched.
Yeah. And I loved them. I had this store, Laser City, down on Market Street, that used to, like, I go down there. The things got released on Fridays, but they would get them in on Tuesdays, and they would be in the storage. And I would go in, and he'd let me buy them early. You know, I was that much of a nut about it. You know, and it was right on the way to work too.
Do you remember how much they cost?
They were about $34 a piece.
Okay.
Well, I mean, compare that to DVDs that then brought that price down to somewhere in the neighborhood of, I don't know, what are
15
15, something like that. Yeah. And the quality on DVDs was much better, you know. And you didn't have to turn them over, and they were small, and, you know, here you had to have like I literally had to have cabinets built to put my laser discs in because they were that unwieldy and that huge.
So you got rid of them.
Yeah.
But they'd be worthless.
I'd say they wouldn't be worth anything now. You know, because then they brought out all the same films on DVD. So it's not like I do have a few of them that I saved. They're still in storage. There were 3 James Bond pictures that they released, and I went in and got them early, as I said. And then by the time Friday came along, they had to pull them off the shelves because the movie company was complaining because there was a supplemental on some of these discs. They had a supplemental audio track, so you could listen to somebody going, and this is where in the movie, blah blah blah, and they kind of talk you through the movie and all the things that are happening and so on. It was on a second audio track that these things had available to them. And the movie company didn't like that. They thought that was violating the film or doing something or another, so they made them pull them back and take that track off. And I have them with that track on there, so that would make them valuable, kind of, you know. But it was a big waste of money on my part. I spent thousands of dollars on laser discs. You know, but I had a lot of fuck you money back then.
Well, nothing in technology, the old stuff, never becomes worth a lot of money, generally.
Also, tax-wise, I could take them off on my taxes. Because I was in broadcasting, and that was like media, and I was buying media to study it and whatever and use it. So that was all my laser discs were taxed. That
it wasn't a total waste.
No. I mean, you know, brought my tax bill down. Yeah. Also, anytime I bought recordings, bought tapes, bought equipment, whatever, you know. So now I just sit in this stupid little studio here and They don't make a living out of it.
Last year, somebody dumped off one of the first Apple computers from the 70s at a Goodwill store, and it was worth about $40,000.
Well, the first Apple computer was made out of wood.
Yeah, this was it. Yeah,
this was the wood one.
Oh
God, it's probably worth more than $40,000.
Maybe it was worth $250,000. I forget, but somebody just gave it away to Goodwill, and they.
Really?
Yeah, there weren't many of them made, and
there were only about 2 or 3 actually. They made them out of wood because they didn't have they did them in the garage, and so they had to have something to put the parts in. So they created this wooden box to put them in. But then finally, when they came out with the original Apple, it was foreign plastic. Okay, but prior to that, it was a wood box. Yeah. So somebody really fucked up.
Somebody made a bad decision. Yeah.
And did the money go to Goodwill?
Goodwill, they did something good with the money. I think they sold it and put the money back in their charity thing.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I find that just amazing. That's an amazing story. I didn't realize that had happened.
Yeah, it wasn't worth it wasn't over $1 million. It wasn't like crazy money, but it was definitely worth something.
Well, it probably is worth a lot of money because that is so iconic. That's so historical. I mean, that isn't just, hey, we found this old computer. How much is it worth? Well, it was an early one, so it's worth $30,000. No, that is the first Apple, handcrafted by Steve Wozniak.
The true genius.
Yeah, I don't know how somebody would come into possession of that because there were so few of them made. It could be that somebody just a real nut like me said, "Oh, a computer, I'll buy it." So.
What could you do with a computer like that? They couldn't have.
Well, you would have to be a real programmer to be able to even run a computer like that, because I think a lot of that was what they call machine language, and it wasn't like you just typed on a keyboard and wonderful things happened. I mean, the early computers you were lucky if you had a keyboard. I remember when I got my first computer, it was an Atari, and it had a keyboard. And but you could also play games. It was created to be a game machine, but it also could be used as a computer, and it had 40 characters across the screen. And I got a copy of, somebody made me a copy of VisiCalc, which was the first spreadsheet program ever created. It literally turned the industry around, the computer industry around, because you always need what's called a killer app. Something that is so pervasive that it makes a certain group of people want to go out and buy it. And VisiCalc was a spreadsheet. In the old days, my business manager would sit there with pen and ink or pencils and write in numbers, and then with his adding machine add up the row of numbers on the spreadsheet and put that in. Here you could just type in the numbers, right? And then at the bottom it would total them out. So it just absolutely changed everything for accounting. And VisiCalc was that killer app. And they had this killer app, and they did it for the PCs. I think they did it for Apple, and they did it for the Atari. And I brought my business manager over, who was now cross-eyed from doing all those spreadsheets. And I said, "Tell me what this is." And I showed it to him, and he started typing away. He says, "It's a spreadsheet." I said, "Yeah." He says, "Wait a minute, let me go to the bottom." He says, "I can put in some kind of thing, and it tells it to total the thing." He said, "I got to get one of these." So we both went out and got IBM computers. They didn't even have hard drives in those days. We had 2 floppy disk drives. We were living large. And that made the industry, VisiCalc. Made people want to go out and get it. A certain group of people go out and get it. And other things followed, and before you know it, everybody's buying computers.
But the IBM computers were probably like 4,000 then.
They were. It was about 3,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a beautiful machine. I mean, nice design, and but he went crazy over the fact he immediately went out. He had a friend, and three of us at the same time got a deal on some IBM computers, and it all started with my Atari.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're a trailblazer.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Atari went out of business, and all the people that created the Atari computer went over to Amiga and created the Amiga computer, which was a very good graphics computer. It was maybe to me, the Atari was the best computer ever created for home use. It really was. And you could do video with it. That's why I bought one, so I could do some video editing. And it was incredible. It was all created by the people who were at Atari and created the Atari computer, which was meant to be a graphics computer. So that's the history, folks. And then the Amiga went the way of all the flesh. But for a while, I mean, we had a thing called the video toaster that switched video and all of that. Do you remember I had an Amiga? Do you remember that at all?
I remember the video toaster.
Okay, so it was in an Amiga, is what it was.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my history with computers. How about your history with computers?
This was the dawn of technology. Well, I'll tell you, my first computer was given to me by a friend. This was in 1987, and it was made by Epson.
Epson, yeah.
And it was, I remember he said new it cost $4,000, $4,000, a lot of money. And literally all I could do with it, you could type. It was like and save stuff. It was like a word processor.
Yeah.
And it could literally do, I think, was it the MS-DOS system or whatever?
Wait a minute. So you actually have been computer literate at one point in your life?
Yeah, actually, when they were pretty new. It was 87.
Really?
Yeah, and all I could do was type on it. That's all I did with it.
Wow.
It was pre-internet.
Well, I didn't know about you then. You definitely...
Well, I didn't keep that very long. I remember that.
Yeah. And then, since then, you haven't known how anything works.
No, and then Epson, I think, went out of business and just did printers after that.
Just for giggles, because we have people listening who have never heard us together before, tell them what kind of phone you have.
I have a flip phone.
How old is it?
I think it's 12, although I can't text.
I mean, it still is able to make phone calls?
It makes very good phone calls.
Really? Are you on it right now?
No. I don't want to get that much radiation in my ear.
Oh, I see. Okay. So you in your home, you actually have a corded phone, is it, or is it?
I'm on a landline. Yes.
You're on a landline. Because I have a landline here that I'm forced to have from my cable company, because they go, well, here's the deal: you get this, and then we give you the phone. And I go, but I don't want the phone. I've got a phone. I've got an iPhone. I don't need that. Most people don't have wired phones at home anymore.
I know.
But if you go out and get cable service, they want you to have this stupid phone. So I do have a wired phone that's wired to my cable company. It's what they call VoIP, but it's like a regular phone, and I never use it. I can't even remember the phone number for it. And it was my main phone number for a while. But, I mean, I know very few people who now have wired phones in their homes. Let's say younger age, okay?
Oh, I don't think any young people have them.
You know, I think my friend Shecky still has a wired phone. I think so.
He's old school.
But nobody has the phones where you pick them up and there's a cord on it. You know.
Yeah.
Do you have a wireless device for your phone?
Oh, no, I don't trust those.
Oh, so you actually have a cord going to the phone?
Yeah, into the wall.
No, but, I mean, going from the phone to your handset.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you find one of those?
They still have them.
Really?
You can get them at Fry.
Because most people, what they do is, let's say they have a wired landline, okay? But they hook that up to a wireless
yeah, I never liked those wireless things. They always, I don't know.
Why? You like
you don't get good reception. I don't know.
You like being tethered?
I like to be tethered.
Your life is tethered.
Well, if we in a 5-foot apartment, you get a lot of room with a 15-foot cord.
Yeah, because a lot of people, I remember in the old days, a lot of people got these really long cords for the headset, so they could walk around a little more than they normally did. But now people have, well, I'm not going to try why teach an old dog new tricks, right?
We can't change at this age, no.
I mean, I'm trying to think, is there anything that I am locked in on that I can't go to the next step in technology? No. But I keep wondering why they keep developing technology with stuff you don't need. You know, I mean, they keep improving here's the new iPhone, and you know what they're selling in the new iPhone when they're trying to sell the iPhone? Look at this camera. It takes better pictures than it ever did before, and it's got a wide screen. It's got this and that, and so on and so forth. And nobody ever says, and by the way, the sound is crystal clear when you're making a phone call. They never even talk about the features.
They shouldn't even call it a phone.
They really don't. Well, they call it an iPhone, so, you've got the name there. But, I mean, it's like they don't, the phone quality, the fact that it's a telephone, which was the main reason it exists anyway, because you can use it wherever you are and call somebody. They never ever even bring that up anymore. No, look at the camera we've got here, and you can have emojis for text and so on. But never do they mention the fact that it's a phone any longer. So, what the hell?
Yeah. I'll stick with the flip.
You'll stick with the flip. That's my boy. He ain't going nowhere without his flip. Well, the first flip I ever had was a Motorola. Motorola made the first flip, and you know what it was made like? The communicator in Star Trek. You flipped it open, just like they did on the communicator on. Well, you never watched Star Trek, right?
I haven't seen Star Trek.
Yeah. Who hasn't seen Star Trek?
I haven't seen Star Wars.
Yeah. What have you?
I don't like that genre of movies.
What's the last movie you went to?
Oh my God, I haven't been to a theater in years.
Really?
I watch when I go to my sister's. I watch things on net. I like noir movies. So
you like what movies?
Noir. The thing I saw the thing. I just saw the movie that you saw being filmed, the Bogart movie.
Dark Passage.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was done in 1947, I think, or 48.
Yeah.
And
that was good.
Nothing more recent than that you really enjoyed?
I don't like the new stuff, no.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Do you realize you have become an old codger?
I think so.
In fact, you were an old codger when you were in your 20s.
I think in my high school, yeah.
Why? What's the gene in you? How did your parents? Did they do something to you that?
No, I think I might have a touch of autism, or Asperger's. And I think it's just that I really cannot deal with any kind of change.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So the flip phone is the furthest you've gone in technology.
Yeah.
Because I've offered you phones, and other people have offered you phones, right?
Yeah, actually, I do have one technological thing that I actually like. Somebody gave me a GPS.
Okay.
So I found that, when you get gigs, people will give you the worst directions in the world. So that has actually helped me quite a bit.
Well, the first time I got one in a car, most people didn't have them. Somebody would say, "Well, you going to come visit me?" And I say, "Yeah." "What's your address?" And they gave me the address. They said, "Do you want the directions?" I said, "Forget it. I don't need it." And I would just pump it into the GPS, and it would take me wherever I wanted to go.
Yeah.
For a while there, it was, however, taking me through bad neighborhoods to get somewhere. And I figure somebody at the GPS company had some friends in some of these bad parts of town who were going to mug you because they had the thing lead you through, like the worst part of town. But that's another story on another day. Hey, it looks like we're suddenly running out of time, Larry. I think a lot of times we do a couple of calls every time we do this. And
we were going to do two short ones.
But I always said, I don't know how I'm going to get through two of these, and I just get through them with you. You get me to
I bring you to life.
You bring me to life. You give me a will to live. Ladies and gentlemen, giving everybody a will to live except himself. It's Larry
exactly.
Bubbles Brown. Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, Alex.
5 years and still talking. This is GABNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hi there, everybody. How are you? I pushed the button a little early there. That's the drugs I'm taking, making me wonky. Anyway, how are you? Good evening. It's good to see you. Well, I can't see you, but I could see you if you call our citizens panel. I'm going to put the, let me see here. Let me open up the Skype lines. Where's Skype? Oh, there it is. Okay. Wait for Skype to load in, which doesn't take that long. It's probably the fastest loading in of anything that I have. Unless it's not working. Yeah, unless it's not working. Let me see here. Okay. So the lines are now open. If you look at your Skype, if you've got me there, you'll see that my green light just went on. So you know that. By the way, Echo, what's my current appointment?
Currently, this calendar query is not supported.
Oh, I see. Okay. Anyway, it's not supported? Okay. Echo, what time is it?
The time is 10:32 p.m.
Okay, good. She's my only caller so far. Okay. Josh Wheeler's having a hard time getting in. Let me see here. Oh, no, I don't want to go to the next... remind me later. All of a sudden it said, do you want to update your... wow. Let me see here. Let me call Josh and see if I can do it with him, for him. I don't know what his problem is. Let me see if he answers. Hey there, Josh. Were you trying to get a hold of us?
I was, but it wouldn't go through.
It wouldn't go through. You were having problems, huh?
It said GABNet unavailable.
GABNet not available. Oh, boy.
Unavailable. I get this every once in a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it just made me download a new version, so it's probably got something to do with that.
Yeah, it probably has something to do with that. Anyway,
but we're here now.
Let me see here. Let's go here, and there you are. Hello, Josh. How's it going this evening?
Oh, pretty good.
Not too
bad.
Wait a minute. Kathleen is calling. Hold on a second. Let me see here. Get her on. There we go. Okay, is she in there? Hello, Kathleen? Is she there? What's the problem?
Might be having the same problem I had.
We're having a problem tonight, huh?
Yeah, some kind of Skype issue. I don't think it's you. It's because I've had this before, and then some other people have said they have it.
Okay, let me...
Got to call 2 or 3 times sometimes.
There's Phil Meyer, and yeah, we got Phil. Okay.
Hey, that's all that matters.
Let me try calling Kathleen here. Try and get her on the show.
I think that's what you have to do sometimes. You have to call them back or something.
Yeah.
But it's not, last night I had trouble getting through. It was like call declined twice. And tonight I got through right away.
Yeah. Oh, there she is. Okay. I called you. Okay.
Thank you.
Let me get these people in here. Oh, we got to get you in the third spot here, Kathleen, because you were in the first spot last night. So I've got to Bob Q Kazoo. Wow, I love the names you people use. It's like, let's try and fake Alex out, okay? Why is your picture green tonight, Kathleen?
Corner. I hate you, Sean.
What?
Hold on.
Wait a minute. Did he do something? Did your son do something?
No.
Your picture looks green tonight.
No, in less than 5 minutes, he's made 75 cents because I've said bad words.
Oh, okay. But
It's probably because of the background.
No, I think. Who knows? Who knows?
Hey, why don't you just give him GABNet bucks? Alex will send you a whole bunch of them.
You're fine enough, but usually you were a lot more colorful last night.
Maybe I'll go change my shirt or take my shirt off. I don't know.
Don't take your shirt off.
I would not.
Sexuality. Huh? Yeah. What would your son think of you if you suddenly started going topless on this show?
I would never do that. He's already pissed off because Adam and Eve plucked the apple. He was like, really, Mom? So now we have to wear clothes because, I'm serious.
I'm cool with that.
For like a year, he bitched about it.
Yeah, really?
He did.
Yeah, well, he should know that in Ibiza, when we were there and I was shooting, you flashed the camera. And
well, remember, you're like, here, take your top off. And I said, no, there's nobody topless. And then, 15 minutes later, someone was like, fring, and you're all, take it off. And then I took it off. You're all, whoa, whoa, whoa. So right.
No, but you were topless on the beaches.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have a couple shots of that. But there was one where you went, and I used the shot, but I blurred it out because I had so much respect for you.
Remember the gal that was tweezing?
And I figured someday you would have a son who didn't want to see your tits on a video.
Oh,
I thought you did it because you didn't want to get thrown off of Facebook.
No.
Yeah.
That's why you blurred it out.
There was no Facebook back then.
Well, you knew there was going to be. You invented the internet.
Huh?
You invented podcasting.
I invented podcasting.
Right. Well, so.
No, remember that gal that was tweezing her crotch with the guy that was 90 years old?
I should get that video out. That was classic. Tell while I'm getting this call online here, tell them what she was doing. It was amazing.
So, I'm laying out in the sun, and all of a sudden Alex nudges me. He's like, "Oh my gosh, look at the camera and look down that way." And I look, and this lady literally was tweezing her crotch. Doink, 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 with some guy, whoever her husband was. She was like 30-something. Her husband had to have been, 90?
But she was sitting there, literally,
sitting there.
I guess giving herself a Brazilian one hair at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's got to hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Well, I don't know. That's one at a time. Maybe it hurts less than all of them at once.
I think the wax thing is, it doesn't hurt because it's hot,
It doesn't hurt?
I don't know.
I've been waxed on my back and my shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ouch.
and it didn't hurt.
Didn't hurt?
No.
Rip.
Yeah, but are you a hairy person or no?
I mean, I don't know. I've never asked.
There.
I've never asked Kathleen this. Did you ever get a Brazilian at all? One of those wax jobs? Wax.
No.
Yeah.
I like the Norwegian babushka. I mean, who cares?
You are so fucking funny. Fine.
Sometimes
it
gets annoying.
Oh, it's a Norwegian babushka. Never mind.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Where are you going? You're gonna go get a Brazilian? Wait a minute, he's leaving now.
I offended Phil.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my job.
Huh?
That's my job.
That's
offending
Josh's job to offend Phil. How you doing, my good friend?
Jason?
I'm
doing.
Hey, go easy on me. I'm taking this drug.
Old,
I'm taking this drug now, and I have a hard time. I used to be able to just go, I'll start the show here, start the show there, hit the button there. There's always something I fuck up. Like tonight, I started the video stream about 30 seconds late, which doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect the show, but.
Was it they say first your knees go and then I forget
but I'm taking this pill for my neuropathy, Lyrica, or a form of Lyrica, and it is I'm a little loopy. Things that I normally can do pretty easily. I post my show and it takes me a lot longer.
Did I hear you say the other day that you are going to go see a chiropractor?
I'm going
Tuesday
to a chiropractor.
I think you'll like it.
Well,
I'll gladly pay you on Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Which reminds me, I got to write Bubs and see if he can do his call an hour earlier that day. But I'm going.
I got you beat.
What?
I fell today, and I fell hard.
Did you really?
Yeah. I don't think I hit my head, but I have a headache. I've had 4 different ice packs on at the same time. I took an 800 milligram ibuprofen.
You have some of those? Because I have those.
Yeah, well, I got them from the doctor. I don't remember how old they are.
They're the best ibuprofens ever.
Yeah. And I was on a measure today in a doctor's office, a dentist's office.
Yeah.
And he had some carpet tile samples, and he put them down on top of the carpet that was there. And I walked across them, and I went. My feet came out from under me, and I almost face planted. I was maybe 3 inches away from a marble desk top, and I fell to the floor. I hurt.
when I went down on Broadway.
Yeah.
Is that the one you did on Facebook?
Yeah. I took what's called a buster on Broadway, and what's horrible is if I did this and I was 20 years old, everybody would go, "Oh, he's clumsy." When you're my age, everybody comes to your rescue. "Oh, are you okay? Did you break your hip?"
I could just see this guy. Is he going to sue me?
No, I fell. I plotzed right in front of the George M. Cohan statue.
Yeah.
In you know where that is in Times Square?
No, I've been to Times Square.
I think it's George M. Cohan that's supposed to be. Who wrote "Give My Regards to Broadway."
I'm always looking for sabarette carts.
Sabrette.
Yeah.
What do you mean sabarette?
Sabarette.
You're a New Yorker and you call it sabarette? It's sabrettes.
Well, I like the chili onions that they have.
Well, I also like the flies that come with them.
Well, yeah, that's extra protein.
Because all that food outdoors, I never liked outdoor food. I always was very suspicious of outdoor food.
Yeah.
Well, and here in New York, we have a plethora of outdoor food things. I mean, the food carts, of course, they got them everywhere, though, now. You have them in San Francisco, and the food cart business is a big business, and because they turn out really interesting, delicious food. So
yeah.
But those things, they were sitting in this hot water all day that flies were swimming in.
They sell them fast. I mean, they Times Square, they're moving those hot dogs. They got the pretzels. They got the chestnuts. Come on.
He likes it better when you can't see all the flies in the kitchen.
Well, it's they got fly mustard. They just squirt it on there.
Yeah.
They take the flies, put them in the mustard.
So anyway, So anyway, I just do you have any carts like that in Tracy, or is Tracy cartless?
No, we have carts. I mean, we're a huge Hispanic community, so man, we have some of the best food. I mean, tamales, elote, which is corn. All that.
Do you have enchiladas?
Yes.
Enchiladas?
Yeah, and tortillas?
Yes.
You have tortillas
As a matter of fact, I just downed 2 tortillas because I made chili.
It's pronounced tortilla.
Tortillas.
Yeah, just from here on in, when you meet your Mexican friends, call them tortillas. See what happens.
They're tortillas.
Tortillas.
Tortillas?
And enchiladas. And tamales.
So,
I'm the one that fell today.
Yes.
It's funny being Mexican, and you go to all these restaurants and they serve the tamales. And it's like they never cook it the way that I was raised eating them. You don't have them in the corn husks. You make them in the corn husks. Then you take them out of the corn husk when you're ready to eat them, and you fry them in some butter till they're nice golden brown and crispy. And
you've been claiming Mexican, but what's the other half? Irish?
Yeah, I'm a Mexican.
My son is Mexican Norwegian.
Mexican?
Norwegian. He's Mexican Norwegian.
You know something? That would be really fun to send him off to what's that? The DNA thing.
Find out if he's actually your kid.
Ancestry.com. No, it's not mine. I know it's not. He's not mine. Look at him. He's too good looking. You know.
You said he's Mexican, so you mean he can get a tan?
We got a guy that calls from Norway.
Alex goes in the sun and starts smoking.
He was really husky when he was younger, so when he was like 3,
that man's gone.
You know, I'd buzz his hair and I'd put his swim trunks on him and he'd be tan. I'd put a gold chain on him. He looked like a little Tony Soprano.
Yeah. Well,
that's Italian.
What? No, you were asking what happens when I go in the sun, Jason. I bleach.
Very funny.
Yeah. So
I would too actually in the summertime. Like I would get blonde around like the outline of all my hair.
Does anybody remember the worst suntan they ever got?
Yeah, I've been burnt
because I remember it. I was in Ibiza with my newswoman Lori Thompson, and we went out to the beach. And this was after the Olympics, and we decided, hey, Barcelona, close enough. Let's go to Ibiza and spend a week. So we went to Ibiza, and we were out in the sun every day, getting our tan. We were looking pretty damn right, okay. And finally, the last day, we figured out we got this tan. You know, we got the base. We'll just sit out here and really get it. So when we get back to New York, we'll be able to have everybody go, boy, you look great. You know, you were out in the sun a lot. And that night, I got the worst. My arms started getting numb, and I thought I was having a stroke. No, it wasn't I don't know.
Sun poisoning.
I've heard that term. I've never had what I call sun poisoning. It did not affect didn't affect my. But that was I had heat stroke, and we had to call a doctor. And I mean, I was so much in pain, I could barely lie in bed. You know, I just wanted to stand up rather than have the sheets on me. You know, I even just had linen on top of me, and it was. And finally, about 3 a.m, I went into a real sweat, and all the pain went away, and I was fine, and the stroke was over with. And I went back, and everybody said, "My God, we can't let you in. You're black." You know, I mean,
the Mediterranean sun is really strong.
But it's you get a different kind of tan under a Mediterranean sun. You get a real
burnt.
No, you don't get you don't burn.
I did.
No,
Sardinia.
I didn't burn. That was the first time I ever burned in the Mediterranean sun. But it gives you this kind of really nice red.
The Mexican with his hand up says he is probably going to say he never burns.
Yeah, yes.
I burn once a year.
Yes, Mexican with your hand up.
So one time I was in Mexico. I was at the Moon Palace, and this one guy, he's in a pool, and he looked black as could be. You know, it just looked like a black man, except for he had no facial features like a black man. I'm thinking, what are you? You know, I'm just confused because, you know, like I said, no facial features of being African descent or anything.
Yeah.
And then I saw him reach for a drink, and one of his rolls lifted and stretched out, and you saw he was white as white could be underneath his rolls. He'd just been in the sun that much that he was black looking.
Well, we came back from Ibiza looking pretty ripe. You know what I heard about Ibiza today? I was watching BBC television. And terrible thing with Ibiza.
Trump is going to buy it?
Well, no, I used to love the island because very few people went to Ibiza.
It was great.
You know, it was great when we went to it. There weren't a lot of people there. We could go out to that beach at where was it? I can't remember the name of the.
I've never been there.
Name
of the beach. Mallorca. Was it
Mallorca's another island.
No.
Yeah, it wasn't that.
No, we were Ibiza, but I'm saying we went to another island, but that was Formentera. It's a very small island next to Ibiza. But there was this. I'm trying to remember the name of it. The beach we used to go to, and where Vedra, the big rock outcropping was, and
we didn't see that many people. I mean, it was okay. It was, and we were there when it was, I think, still in season.
Yes.
But now it is so overcrowded. It is such a crowd scene that the story they were running is it's the number one polluter and trash place in all of the Mediterranean, and perhaps it has the most garbage per person of any place in the world.
The same thing happened to a place I used to go diving a lot that was not popular with the masses. It's called Turks and Caicos, and it's in the British West Indies. And Turks and Caicos had a building boom, and then all the pollution from the building boom, the sheetrock and stuff that they dumped in the water, damaged the reefs, and because it had a barrier reef that was almost as large as it's the second largest barrier reef and in the world, and but all the building pollution started to destroy it and the fish life.
And didn't all that actually stem from them changing their laws to be able to be a tax haven for American billionaires?
I don't know that they are. Turks and Caicos is
I'm pretty sure they are.
The British West Indies. It's the Dutch islands, I think.
Boy, I'm so out of it. I can't.
Pretty sure it's Turks and Caicos.
I can't remember the name of the island, the name of the beach, Kathleen, and I always remember it. And I'm.
Yeah, hey, you'll remember it about 4 in the morning.
Oh yeah, 4 in the morning. I'll come up with it in the middle of the show and suddenly spout it out. But that beach was not easy to get to. You had to know where it was. And when we went there, it was, it had enough people there, but you had to know how to get out there, and it wasn't close to anything.
Yeah, but it wasn't packed. We didn't.
It wasn't
feel
one
like
of the easy beaches.
We were squeezed in.
I'll bet if we went there now, we couldn't find a parking space.
Oh, that's pathetic. That's sad.
I mean, it's got to be. It would just be. I'm sure. I would love to see a picture of the beach.
Hey, Alex, I know what beach it was. It was the one that was right by the water.
Yeah, it was the one right by the water.
One with sand.
No, what was the name of that beach? Damn it! I used to know it.
Hey Siri, what is the most popular beach in Ibiza?
Please speak English.
On the web for what is the most popular beach in Ibiza? Check it out.
All right. Yeah. Well, best beaches and party beaches.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on.
Right.
Okay. The best beach, the White Isle Beach.
No.
The White Isle is known for hedonism, spirituality, and barefoot bohemia.
No, good, isn't it?
Barinas?
No,
Barinas?
no,
Beninirras?
No.
There's another one, Cala Carbo.
Oh, I know what it is. I know what it was. Thank you.
Overa?
No, I'll tell you what it was. It's Cal de Hort was the name of the beach.
That was it.
Okay, there's a Calamastrella.
Yeah.
Kalamazoo.
It was Cal de Hort. Thank you for coming up with the Cal, because
you got it? Yeah, there's a lot of Calas.
Yeah. But I bet Cal de Hort, you can't even find it. It was, you had to know where it was. It was just an and then it was beautiful because it was this beach, and then there was this big rock outcropping in the water called Vedra, which has all kinds of legends about it and so on. And you just sit there lying in the sun, just baking like toast, and
we go and have breakfast.
Oh, we go up. Well, I've got video of you having paella, the best paella in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you ever have? I had paella in Barcelona. It was lobster paella, and it was a restaurant that was built in 1700s, and it was unbelievable. I'd never. Had
I would say the stuff at this shack in Ibiza was maybe the best paella I've ever had. Really? I mean, it was just. It was. They didn't say lobster paella. They throw into it whatever they had. It's kind of like leftovers in a beautiful dish.
And this one was for two people.
Here's the thing that pissed me off. I went to Ibiza once by myself. Yeah. Okay, and I go into a restaurant and they go, "What would you like?" And I would say, "I want the paella." And they say, "Oh no, senor, por dos." So only for two. And I went, then give me the paella anyway, and I'll eat it all. And they went, okay, but it's por dos. And I went, oh, yeah, that's fine. Give me the
What was
poor
the
dose.
price?
I wanted it. And I was going to eat it. And I had money, and I didn't care what it was going to cost. So here to insult me, they bring me the paella, and next to me, they put down another plate with a fork and a knife.
Yeah. You might have invited someone over.
Well, it's like, we're doing it for two, so was your other... I said, I don't need the plates, And I ate most of the paella, Maybe didn't eat all the rice, but, I ate all of the little goodies in there. It's like a piñata of food, I mean, just all the stuff comes falling out, But great paella.
Going to Italy, and the hotel we stayed at, remember we saw, what was it, like a Ferrari parade?
Oh, yes, there was a parade of Ferraris.
Yes.
There's
we
your
were
LV
late
truck.
No, there.
That's it.
That's Vedra. That's Vedra.
Yeah.
Or we went to that
Wow, is
little
that beautiful.
hole in the wall restaurant in Italy, and they treated us like family.
We went into just this, I won't call it a dump, but it was just, it was like a little family restaurant. And they said, okay. And I said, what would you like? And I said, just bring us stuff,
Yes.
That was one of the best meals I've ever had in my life.
Absolutely. And they treated us like family. It was just fantastic.
Yeah. And it was very slow. It was like, don't eat fast, take your time,
Right.
And just enjoy it. And so we did exactly that, and it was wonderful. Just
and
wonderful.
their tiramisu was to die for.
Yeah.
It was just fantastic.
So anyway, that was in Lake Como where we were.
Yes.
Yeah. But
And then we went to Bregenz, Austria, remember? Because Gary had set up the whole trip for us. And so we had one where we're like, okay, it's a free time. Where are we going to go? And we're drive. And we end. How about Bregenz?
Well,
Austria?
here's how I would do. Here's how I would always do it. Okay, and that was that I would I would decide that here's where I want to be one day, and then I'm going to have to wind up somewhere else. Like we're going to wind up, I think, in the south of France.
Yeah.
And then you have about 2 or 3 days. So along the way, my business manager was making hotel reservations when I knew where we were going to be. So he found us a place in Lake Como, and then we went up into was it? It wasn't Austria. It was
Switzerland.
Well, we went through that small country.
Switzerland.
No, not Switzerland. This is the small country, Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein
Yeah.
is
A real small.
Liechtenstein.
We went to,
Let me put
we
it
were
this way.
along the lake, and we went to it. All of a sudden, there's this tent, and they're having this huge Oktoberfest.
Yeah, but if you go to Liechtenstein and you're driving and you sneeze, you missed Liechtenstein. That's how small it is.
So you drove, you didn't take the train. It's so much easier to take the train.
Yeah, well, no, it's so much better to drive because you can stop and look at stuff instead of seeing it go by.
And we were able to read a map.
Yeah.
Remember those?
Oh, we love driving's the best.
It was.
Except when we were coming down out of Zermatt. We had to go up the mountain.
Yeah, the Mont Blanc.
No.
You were on the other
Are
side.
you talking about the Furpa Pass?
Yes. And that road scared the shit out of me. I don't know about you.
If I had a quarter for every time he said the F-bomb, oh my gosh, we would all be millionaires.
I mean, wait a minute. It's this windy road going down a mountain with no guardrails on the side of the road.
Just sheer cliffs.
I drove from Paris to Milan, and I had to go through the Mont Blanc tunnel, and there was Zermatt, the Matterhorn right in front of me, and I said to myself, if there's a heaven, that's it.
No, then you'd like what we had. We would wake up in the morning and look out our window, and there was the Matterhorn.
Yeah.
Right next to it was the other mountain they have, the What's a Matterhorn. So
that's what's the matter with you.
Yeah, and it was pretty good, pretty.
I was ready to move there. It was just gorgeous.
Well,
it's funny because guys would come up to me and say "Sprechen Sie Deutsch?" because I look like the epitome of a German woman. I was like, no, se habla español y fala portugués, and they're like, what the?
Well, we had a travel agent who booked a lot of this stuff for us, and the travel agent said, "I've done something," and the travel agent told you wear a wedding ring.
Oh yeah, I wore a wedding ring in every hotel we went to.
Every hotel we went to,
newlyweds.
she told them ahead of time they're newlyweds, so be nice to them. So they would upgrade us to a better room. They would send things up to the room.
And robes at us for us to take.
Yeah. So that's what you should do if you ever go to Europe, go on a long trip. Just ahead of time, tell them, well, we're going on our honeymoon.
Yep.
So that's what we did. I don't know where you got the ring. It was did you buy it somewhere cheap or?
It was just a faux. It was a gold band and it had a nice big, CZ on it.
Yeah.
They couldn't tell. Woo!
Yeah.
It was a ring pop.
Yeah, but anyway, that was the best way to handle that situation.
Yep. But the most surreal thing was landing in Paris and staying, 2 blocks from the tunnel? Because we landed in Paris and watched the funeral from our hotel room in Paris.
Yeah. Well, this thing is turned. Well, we saw Diana had just died. She had died about a day earlier at that overpass that we
she
were like.
She died like a week earlier. We were there for the funeral. I mean, we were in France.
That's interesting because about a month after she had died, I took my family there, and we went. We were at the Ritz at the Vendôme, and we had breakfast or lunch in the same restaurant that she ate in just before she and Dodi Fayed left.
We were there. We were there before the funeral, and about 2 days after this happened, and all the news people were there and everything, and people were putting flowers on this.
We just saw.
The Statue of Liberty had a actual other Statue of Liberty that they made.
Yeah,
that they kept. And the flame from it was the centerpiece of this particular thing, and they had all the.
Now, I was there at Easter Sunday. It was the day I was at the Ritz at the Place de Vendôme.
Mm-hmm.
So when did she die?
We can't see that; it's blurry.
Back it off.
It's hanging up in my
Back it off.
Yeah, there she is, Diana. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a magazine from Italy because every country we went to, I bought a magazine with her on the cover because she was everywhere.
Yeah. And it was really, there's Tom Yamaguchi. Let me see here. Got to get Tom in here. Here comes Tom Yamaguchi, folks. Hi, Tom.
Hello.
We're talking travel adventures.
I know you're talking about exciting places like Paris, France.
Yeah.
Not an exciting place like Paris, France.
Exciting place like Paris, France? Are you being facetious?
Well, no, I'm in San Diego. That's not very exciting.
Oh, you're in San Diego right now?
Yes.
Well, what do you
hometown of Ocean Beach?
Oh, so you went home to see your family or whatever? Or
I've come down for my high school reunion, my 50th high school reunion. So there are 2 events happening, and I just got back from the first event.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be another event happening tomorrow night, and then I'm going to come back to the Bay Area.
Well, meanwhile, in Paris.
It's 96.
Wait a minute. It was August. He died August 31st. Dodi Fayed died August 31st, 1997, at the Pont d'Alma Tunnel.
Yeah, well, that's where we were.
97
now. But I was there in.
Doesn't matter. We were there. We were there before you. Okay, we were there. It doesn't matter, Phil. We were there right after it happened. In fact, we had.
We were there in September because remember UPS went on strike, and we were like, "Oh crap!" Because the strike was going on for 3 weeks, and I remember telling my boss, "Hey man, I'm going to Europe for 3 weeks."
Well, we knew that she had just died and we were going to Paris and we went, what's going to happen there? So we went to the hotel and we slept that night, and then we woke up and we walk out and you're going. I've got the video of it. I mean, I've got a almost 4 hour video of this vacation. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's online if anybody wants to look at it. No, you won't see her tits. Okay. Anyway, it was a. But you walked out, and we started walking, and she says, "Oh, look, there's the Eiffel Tower." Right? Because there it was.
Yeah.
And I said, I think that I've got something better than that. Look over there. And there were all these people with, around these flowers and everything.
Yes.
And you said to me, "What's that?" I said, "That's where she died."
Yep.
You know, and the news people were there. I mean, they hadn't even buried her yet in England.
Nope.
You know.
No, they didn't even. I remember being in the hotel room. We were watching the funeral, and I was, it was sad because her kids, her sons were so young.
I don't know if we were watching. Well, the funeral was taking place about the time we were there. Yeah.
We watched it from our hotel room.
Yeah. Yeah. We also watched porn in our hotel room.
This is hard to see, but these are all the flowers that were left out in front of Kensington Palace. For Diana.
Yeah.
It's a sea of flowers.
Yeah, yeah. But it was, I mean, it was one of those it was a vacation I took that I said, I'm just going to do the best vacation I can do. And I said, I knew you at the time, and I said, "You coming with me?"
Absolutely.
And she said, "Of course." And we did it, and we had a great time. And, then I get, I hope I take a vacation soon. I haven't taken a vacation since we went to China, and we got to take a vacation. So I think we're gonna head out for. I don't know. What have I told her I wanted to take her to see? I would have loved to have taken her to Ibiza, but not anymore. Not now. That's a thing of the past. But what I'd like to do is take her to Spain and go down the Costa del Sol.
Yeah.
And just eat tapas all the way down the Costa del Sol. But and I think that's what we'll do. I think it's time I take her on a vacation, and she'll never talk to me again.
You can't get her a full meal. You got to just get her appetizers.
Well, you know what? No, what happens is, here's what happens. In all the bars in that part of Spain, the tapas are free. Yeah. They're free. But you get a tapas every time you buy a drink.
Yes.
Now, I don't drink, so I don't know what I would do.
Marjorie can have her red wine and have tapas.
Yeah, but what about me? I'm not going to have any. Give me a Coca-Cola. Well, no tapas for you. I mean. But supposedly the tapas some of these places have are just phenomenal. You
like sangria? I mean, that's pretty benign a drink.
Yeah, but I'm just not a drinker. I'm a teetotaler. In fact, most of the women that I went out with over the years were not drinkers, and it wasn't until I met up with Marjorie that I suddenly realized how much a meal could really cost. Because one drink is about half of a meal.
Oh.
I mean, they're charging $12, $13 for a drink now, and she can't have one. She has to have two. That's her thing. I got to have two, which I don't mind. She gets drunk and beats me. So it's
very funny.
Well, listen, I want to talk about a few things. Did you hear what happened over at Fox today?
Shepard Smith made room for you to possibly get a job.
Yeah. Shepard Smith, who was in the middle of a 3-year contract, decided to quit. What?
I didn't hear that. Well, I've been out of it today, so I didn't hear that.
Shepard Smith decided to quit. And, Shepard Smith, of all the guys who are over there, is probably the most principled. I mean, he just doesn't play the same game the rest of the. Hello, Jeff. The same game the rest of them play, and it's rumored that he was pretty sick of the antics of some of the nighttime hosts and being part of this Fox thing, which kind of had a stink to it. And I think
he was the news guy. He wasn't opinion. And at Fox, they were saying today that they have two deals. One is opinion and one is news.
Well, yes, but sometimes you can't. They don't separate the two. I can show you shows during their news periods that there is opinion. Okay, Phil. So they're lying to you. But he felt uncomfortable, I think, being at Fox at this point, and he left the job. He's pissing away a couple of $1 million, and on top of it, he has a non-compete contract. So for the rest of his contract, he can't work anywhere else.
He was there 23 years.
Yeah, but he's had it. He's just had it. So
so he just said, I'm out.
I'm out. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Amazing.
The guy that was describing it today said that he'd been making noises about wanting to quit or retire recently.
Yeah. Well, it isn't a matter of retiring. It's a matter that he's sick of what's going on. He doesn't like. Oh, and then yesterday, Trump, I think, did a tweet.
Trump went after him,
savaging him, and he just said, "That's it. I don't need this." And I take my hat off to him. A real principled guy who says, "I can't live with this anymore. This is not, my idea of a good time." So, yes, Tom.
Well, I was also thinking, Mike Wallace's son, was it Chris? Chris Wallace?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what his politics are, but
Republican.
I don't.
I don't know that he is. I don't know that he is, Jason.
I don't know. I've never heard him. I've never heard him, express an opinion one way or the other.
Yeah.
And I've always had a lot of respect for him, and I thought, like him and Shepard Smith, that I thought that they were there because they were sort of like there to say, okay, Fox, you say you're a legitimate news network, let's show it. Let's prove it that you're a legitimate news network, and that's why we're sticking around.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just wondering what this means for Chris Wallace, who's also been very, 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 critical of Trump in recent weeks as well because of everything.
Well, Shepard Smith supposedly a couple of weeks ago on his show said, the trouble with Trump is he just lies and lies and lies and lies. And that is not something that rests well at the Fox, in the Fox universe, as it were. What do you think, Josh? Do you think, you ever watch Shepard Smith? No?
Not really. I mean, I'm aware of the situation. I did saw that he quit today, resigned. I really don't ever watch Fox. I mean, just nothing for me there. I mean, because I don't feel like they're going to be, a fair arbiter of the situation, and that's not what I'm looking for. I mean, Fox is a mouthpiece for the RNC. I mean,
their slogan is fair and balanced. What do you mean?
Let's face it. I mean, so yeah, I never really watched Fox. I mean, but I've always heard what you're saying about Shepard Smith over there, and a little bit the same with Mike Wallace because
Chris.
I'm sorry, because because he's a little more because I think he anchors their weekend coverage that's on regular Fox, not the news network, but their morning show. So he's pretty well known, but. I mean, good for Shepard Smith, I guess. I mean, he'll probably end up somewhere eventually.
Well, not in the next couple of years. He's not going to be able to work.
Maybe they'll waive that or something. I don't know.
Well, he may have a lawyer go in and negotiate the non-compete.
Maybe they'll settle. He'll pay him
I believe legally, and I've been told this because I've been in this kind of situation before, that if let's say you have a non-compete clause in your contract, and now you quit. I don't know if that happens if you quit, but I know if they want to let you go, they have to keep paying you.
Yeah.
And you can go get another job, and whatever it pays, they still have to pay the difference between what you were making with them and what the new job will pay. Now, in his case, they could use the non-compete clause because he's quitting, I think, and say you can't work. But I think they're going to have to pay him. I think there's going to have some kind of remuneration. I may be right. I may be wrong about this. Huh?
Right.
What was the News Corp was the name of Murdoch's company, and News Corp owns Fox. Do they still own them? News Corp stock went up quite a bit over the last 20 years. I don't think he's worried about money. I think he's got, he's probably got a lot of News Corp stock, and he's sitting pretty good.
I don't think it's a question of worrying about money. I think it's a question about you want to work. He's in his prime. If he cools out for a year and a half, 2 years not working, the public will forget who he is. His value will wane.
So he's probably made enough money though anyway. He's like, fuck this, I'm done, I'm out.
Well, I think he probably, part of him says, I've got enough to take care of myself for the rest of my life and live nicely, and I don't need this.
He could be a pundit if he wanted to and not get paid.
No, Phil, non-compete means non-compete, whether you're getting paid or not.
You don't get, really? Even if you don't get paid?
Non-compete is non-compete. It means you can't go on the air anywhere.
So does that mean he can't be a part of the citizen panel?
No, he can't be part of the citizen panel.
We're the only lucky ones.
Damn me and my non-compete clause.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have you all sign non-compete clauses because, especially Tom,
Does that mean you can't call in the Jack show?
That's right. You can't call it the Jack.
He's very competitive.
Well, I mean, if he wants to work, I see what you're saying, though, if he wanted to work, because he's a newsman, and if that's what he wants to do, and let's face it, there's a lot of fucking news right now, right? I mean, it's a good time to be a newsman.
Kathleen remembers when I was fired, I was let go in San Francisco, and they still had a year and a half on my contract.
You had to pay or play.
I had to pay or play, and so consequently, I was getting paid about $300,000 a year not to work. Okay, over the period of time that I was out of work, they had to pay me $450,000.
Yep.
All right, and people go, "That must be great," and I went, "No, you saw me. I mean, you can't do a show anywhere. It was very difficult for me. It was kind of a living hell because I liked having a show.
I felt horrible for you.
Hey,
I felt horrible for you, and that's when I found out all the hanger-oners.
Yeah. Well, you find out.
Everybody went to the wayside. That's when you truly found out.
You find out who your friends are. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, Phil.
You're a hypochondriac. I need to know what are the symptoms of a concussion?
Well, I don't feel you. One of the things is you think Trump's good. That's one of the parts.
I had before
if you're seriously not feeling good, Phil, you should go get checked out.
I got too much to do tomorrow.
I don't care.
No, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
What are they going to do if I hit my head?
What are you feeling? What are you feeling?
And then Phil never woke up.
I'm not. Nothing. My eyesight's not clear.
Hey, why don't you have your living, whatever she is, do a concussion test on you. Cover one eye, shine a flashlight in it, see if your eye dilates, then do the same thing with the other eye. One eye should be able to dilate.
I mean, you might go to one of these walk-in clinics or something, although I don't know if they're open up this late. But
well, yeah, Kaiser's got a thing, but
that's something you could do in 5 minutes to
hurts.
find out if you have a.
No, that's what I'll do. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what they would do, and even if you have one, what do they do to you?
Well, Marjorie fell on the what do you call it? The doormat that we had here.
Yeah.
Going out one night.
Similar deal.
And hit her head, and she actually got a concussion. She got concussed. And she went to a doctor, and they put her in an MRI, and it said nothing. You didn't get something terrible here, but you're going to have headaches for a while. And she had headaches for a while.
Yeah,
and
just like football players have concussion protocol, so stuff that they have to do and keep an eye on.
I definitely broke the fall with my elbow, and my shoulder. But I know that my head hit the floor. It was a concrete floor. It had carpet on it. But you know,
Can I just ask you? Let me ask you a couple of questions.
Can you do a head roll, Phil?
Yeah. Let me ask you a couple of questions that might help us determine whether you're concussed. How do you feel about Donald Trump?
He's an animal.
Nope, he's good. He got some sense knocked into him.
Oh man.
I mean, what can it hurt getting checked out?
Well, it's.
I know it's
because tomorrow I'm going on a Coast Guard cutter and I'm shooting the Blue Angels again, and I want to go.
Well, maybe you don't go. Maybe you don't go. Maybe you go to the hospital and you just have them check you out to just make sure. Say, I took a fall and I want to make sure everything's okay.
I'm going to do what Jason said.
He's going to go on the cutter.
Yeah.
Hey, you said you're going to go shoot the Blue Angels again?
Yeah.
You know,
I got away with it the first time.
I do it every year.
I got enough trouble with friends and having medical problems. Yes, Tom.
Phil just reminding me of why I'm so happy. I'm 600 miles from the Bay Area right now.
Oh, the Blue Angels?
Yeah,
I hate the fucking Blue Angels.
Sean, I mean, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I would be up on the roof of Alex's apartment.
Yeah.
Happy as a clam watching that, and he goes, well, Kathleen, what if the Blue Angels slam into the Golden Gate? And I had my video camera. I said, I'm going to get it all on film.
They'll raise the toll.
Well, I know what. No, you know what they used to do, the Blue Angels, these stupid fucking assholes.
Between the buildings.
They would, yes, they would, no, what they would do the day before the show, they would have a rehearsal. Now, I don't know what you were supposed to do when they were rehearsing. Don't watch, don't look up. They're just rehearsing, you know. But they would do a rehearsal, and their rehearsal wasn't going over the bay. Their rehearsal was going over the buildings in San Francisco. And their wings are missing a building by about that much. And I'm going, you know, one of these days, these assholes are going to crash into somebody. And I kept, every time they did that, I was putting them down all the time on the air saying, this is dangerous. It shouldn't be allowed. You know, especially over a civilian airspace. And people would say, that's horrible of you. And finally, one day I get a call from the Blue Angels. They want to take me up.
I wish I had known you because I would have gone up in your place.
Yeah, well, I think maybe you did know me at the time. I mean, but I remember them asking me. Okay, we don't.
I'm ready.
We don't care about your lens. Anyway. The point is that I said to them, no way, because I know what you guys are going to do. You know, I'm going to sit in the back of that plane, and it's going to become the vomit comet. You know,
they don't want you to puke in their plane.
Well, but they don't mind if you puke in your mask. You know, and I said that no, I ain't going to do that. So.
See, when they do the show over by me, I have a Air Force Base right by me. They they fly right over my house. That's where they turn around at. It's like right over my house, and it's pretty sweet. It's like, dang, I just hope you don't go too low and hit my house.
Yeah. Well, and also when they did their rehearsal, it was like on a Friday, and I got my nap in the afternoons because I did a morning show, and I would try to sleep, and I couldn't sleep because it was right over my building. Yeah. And I
remember my boss let me off early, and I was at your apartment, and this is when you had the two apartments back to back, so I was in the old one, and I'm in the window, and I'm talking to my boss. He's like, what's going on over there? Are the jets going over? I go, yeah, and I started to talk, and one went right over, and the sound came right down North Point.
Is the old one the one that was on the street side on Beach or?
It was on North Point and Broadridge.
Yeah, so it was on the street side.
Yes.
The other one, which I was never in, was behind it.
Well, no, behind it. I had one apartment behind it that didn't have it didn't look out on a.
Didn't look out on the street.
Looked out on the garden, building next to us, and I had a little deck there that I could get to through a window, but.
At the kitchen, probably, where you go down to the garbage thing.
What?
Well, we just come out of one apartment and go on the catwalk to the other one.
Yeah, we were just right next to each other. So you know.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
Phil
life.
was never in it because you got a restraining order by then.
Yeah. Did you come to that apartment, Phil?
I was in the one in the front right after the earthquake. I hadn't talked to you in several years.
Yeah.
And but right after the earthquake, I went over there to see if you needed any help because I had a big truck and I helped a number of other people get their stuff when their buildings were red tagged. And so, I came over and I said, hey, if you're red tagged or, and you need to get your stuff out, I'll help you.
So was that after?
No, I didn't start seeing Kathleen till after the earthquake.
Yeah, it was like October of '96.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was what, 89?
That was 89,
right?
October 89. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the only time I was in that apartment. I was in Sausalito a lot, but not that one.
But anyway, so what else is in the news? So we got Shepard.
Oh, hey,
yeah.
I went and got my real ID, and guess how much it cost me?
Nothing.
$28.
$36.
Oh, did you get? Oh, I just renewed mine.
Because I had to renew my license, and
I didn't.
I did the real ID thing just in case I want to fly.
Yeah, well,
my license is good for a few more years.
I did the real ID thing.
Are you sure you did the real ID and not the enhanced ID, which does cost more?
Well,
no, they're all in this state.
All I know is here in New York, I got the one that's got the star on it or whatever.
Yeah, we get a bear, a golden bear.
Well, anyway,
you need the star. If you don't have the star, it's not the real ID.
No, you got to get a star on yours.
I'm not sure. I thought we get a golden bear.
No, you
don't, Kathleen, because I don't get it for another 2 weeks in the mail.
They've been talking
federally.
Well, anyway, how much do you think they charged me?
110.
Nothing. 100.
You heard me say it before, right?
No, I didn't hear you say it. I just guessed.
See, she remembers what I say. $110 it cost me.
See, I think you got the enhanced ID, not the real ID.
I think he got fucked.
Well, I got the thing where you got to show your passport, you got to show a bank statement. You got to show.
I had to do utility bills.
Yeah,
I had to do the passport. I had to show a paycheck with my Social Security number because I didn't have a Social Security card. Jason thinks he's the only Mexican in this country.
They keep saying that within the year, within the year, you're gonna have these enhanced or whatever IDs,
real IDs,
real IDs in order to fly. But that's a lie. If you've got a passport, you can use that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't really need it.
But that's what I'm saying. There's a difference between the real ID and an enhanced ID, but they'll both still work the same as far as getting on a plane. And the same thing, like you said, if you have a passport, you can use that also.
Jeff's been real quiet tonight. Jeff?
I was at a show tonight.
You what?
I went to see a show tonight.
What'd you go to see?
It's a very strange show. I don't even know the name of it. It was in New Haven, and it was about gay people, black, mostly gay people in Houston in like the 60s.
I saw the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That would...
50s? Oh, wait. Give me the update. You know the name of it. I try to get the other person to do the work around here. Unless you pay them, it won't help.
Well, that's how you be successful. You got to delegate.
Yeah. Well, being gay and black in Texas in the 60s,
up a little higher,
had to be the most dangerous
of belonging.
The most dangerous thing you could possibly do.
Yeah.
I mean, when was I there? What years was I there? I think I was there in. God, I can't remember. I think I was there in about 68, 69.
Where?
Yeah, Houston.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was, I can't imagine being gay or black. I mean, I was there with Jack Bishop.
He's time. Gay and black.
No.
Hey, Biden's gay. He came out last night on Anderson Cooper's show.
But my wife and I would walk down the street. Ronnie would walk down the street with Irv, and we had a special little thing we would do we would walk. He was black, I was white, and we would walk down the street with her. And let me see here. Hold on a second.
You got Ray Renati.
I got Ray Renati. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hey. We would walk down the street.
I'm out with dogs.
We would walk down the street in Houston, Texas. Okay, hold on a second. Let me change pictures here. Yeah.
Doggy.
What?
Look at that doggy.
Yeah.
He's assuming the position. He's assuming the position.
Oh, no.
Why have I got such a small picture on you?
Hey, Ray, does your dog lift both hind legs to pee?
Sometimes, yeah.
Mine lifts just the left leg usually.
And she's female, and sometimes
I had a dog. I had a dog named Kipper who was the most retarded dog in history. And when he first we passed him one day with a bunch of other dogs, because in those days you could let your dog run free, okay, and you would see your dog as you were coming home down the street with some other dogs or whatever, and they were all going over to a tree to pee, and then when it's his turn, he goes over and he squats, and we were so embarrassed for our dog, come on, lift the leg. We gave him lift the leg lessons and he couldn't learn. He always squatted. Yes, Tom.
Yeah, I used to walk a dog, a Chihuahua, and that's how she would pee, or does pee. She lifts both her hind legs and balances herself on her front legs to do it.
Cow.
Really?
She's a Chihuahua.
Wow.
Nice.
Chihuahua.
Well, she would balance on her front feet and lift both her back feet?
Yes.
She basically did a handstand.
Yes, exactly.
And then where would the pee go?
On the ground.
Yeah.
Really? Didn't go squirting somewhere else?
Well, downward. I mean, she lifted her back. Her back was lifted up, the legs off the ground.
Yeah.
And and she would be able to piss.
Boy.
So, Alex, your dog was a squirter?
My dog was retarded. Retarded.
Retarded, eh?
Yeah.
From Massachusetts.
Trump has a dog
Boston.
that lays on its back. Trump has a dog that lays on its back and pees and gives itself a golden shower. I just heard this.
Trump does not have a dog.
I must have read that on the fake news. Sorry.
Yeah. Listen.
That was his son.
Let me go to Josh for a second. Josh, what in the news has been appealing to you at all? Anything?
Just following the daily developments of our forthcoming impeachment trial, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the main story. I will say what aggravates me about this whole thing, though, is they call someone to testify, and they don't come because they're told not to, and they can't, and they subpoena them, and they're going to deny it, and so basically the legislative branch will take it to court, etc. People always ask me what constitutional changes or amendment I wish we had. I wish that we had, in these situations where the executive branch is going to sue the legislative or vice versa, especially vice versa, I think it should just fast track straight to the Supreme Court. They can decide it right then and there. We can get this shit figured out in a day or two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's what they want to do with this kind of shit. Deny the subpoena. Don't follow the rules that you have to follow. Put it off, because it'll go to the courts, and they want to tie it up for months, if not a year, 14, 15 months. I say bullshit. That shit should go straight to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Get it decided, get it done.
You should do the same thing with the rentals in New York. When you have a beef, go straight to the Supreme Court.
I wish we could.
None of this,
I wish we
appeal
could.
stuff.
I mean, we just got a bill today for $3,500 because our lawyer was studying.
Oh, well.
He was getting ready for the trial, and then the trial never happened. So it's happening in December.
This before?
It's just getting to the point. We didn't do anything and spend this kind of money. We spent almost $65,000 so far. Yes, Jason.
So I am maybe a couple of days behind because actually I'm having a hard time actually downloading your show. Nobody else's, but off of iTunes. But did you already talk with Phil to see how he might feel about with Trump removing the troops from Syria and letting the Turks come in and bomb our allies, the Kurds, who helped us do all the fighting?
I only said that the generals had recommended that he not do it, and he didn't listen, and it doesn't look good because they bombed a prison that the Kurds were holding ISIS prisoners in. And I don't think that they need escalation. I think that they made a mistake. But then I also said that I think
who made a mistake?
I mean, but it was like
Trump.
It was like Erdogan was sitting there waiting on his haunches.
Recorded that. That should have been.
There's one. It is recorded. There's one other. There's one other issue. Erdogan and the United States and a number of the countries in the Arab, the Middle East, have been at loggerheads, especially Israel, and there's a chance. This is pretty Machiavellian, but there's a chance that Trump did this to get they're going to put big sanctions on the Turks, but maybe also the Russians and the Iranians will go after the Turks.
But why would you have to even do that? Why would you have to go to that point?
I don't know.
Said, hey, we're doing this.
Let's say if it was some kind of cunning plot that he had in order to solve a problem, he certainly didn't do it. You know, in fact,
that's why I said it was Machiavellian. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I think that what he did was.
Dangerous to America.
Was dangerous to America.
It was dangerous to the world.
It was dangerous also to our reputation with other countries that we might want to have a relationship.
We don't have a reputation. We don't have a reputation with other countries. According to the news, they all hate us, and they're laughing at him, and so on and so forth.
Yes, they do.
Reputation is not the issue. The issue here is that I think he made a strategic error, and but we'll see how it plays out.
Gee, Phil actually says that his boy may have done something
That's because
wrong.
I'm honest, and you never Trumpers are not.
Oh, okay. Well, the other day I was sitting down saying I've got to say something nice about Donald Trump, and I'm still thinking about it. It's taken a while.
Don't hurt yourself.
It's taking a while.
Hey, I will say a nice thing about Donald Trump. If I was a gay man, I think that Donald Trump could give a really good blowjob. I'm sorry. There's something about his lips. He looks like he could suck a mean dick.
It looks like they're always ready to suck, don't they?
Right?
They're always kind of stuck
He's
out
always...
there. Yeah, it's like they're always out there.
I think Ronan Farrow is also Donald Trump's son. Doesn't he look like Barron Trump a little?
No. He looks like Frank Sinatra, who is no doubt his father. Because if you want to say that Woody Allen's his father, what part of him looks like Woody Allen?
No way, it's Frank Sinatra, man. Look at the.
Yeah.
It's so obviously Frank.
You might have to ask Trump what part of him looks like.
And I think that if he was really Woody's son, he wouldn't be going after Woody like this.
Maybe he's got a Woody. I don't know.
Yes, maybe he's got a Woody. Anyway, but I mean,
he's got a Woody for what's his name?
Well, you know what? Today they were doing this whole thing. They've really been going after Matt Lauer the last couple of days.
Lead guy.
Who are they going after?
They're going after Matt Lauer a lot because of the book that Farrow wrote. And in it, this woman tells her story about how he ass fucked her and all of that, you know. And then, and while it would ring true, if true, the fact was that she went back for seconds, thirds, and fourths. Okay, and I don't know, but as a woman, Kathleen, if some guy did something untoward you and forced you to have sex. And
I think he'd be dead on
wait a minute. Well, let's say she was a little shorter, okay, and not as muscular. But would you go back for seconds, thirds, and fourths? No, absolutely not.
Only
and then on top of that, her, according to Ronan Farrow, her source of corroborating what she did was the woman that she told the story to, which was Ann Curry. But Ann Curry has it out for Lauer because he's the one that got her fired at NBC. So
they should probably refer to Wednesday's show when we did the reenactment.
Oh yes, do you still have them there? Do you still have the
The window
Oh,
kitties
cats.
there. These used to be in my window, my kitchen. We called them the window kitties. And when I left California, she inherited the window kitties. There we go. There's Matt Lauer and yeah. Not that the woman was black.
What
She
happened?
wasn't. But what?
Matt Lauer butt fucked someone that didn't want to get butt fucked?
Yeah.
What do you-
Well, he said, "Would you
Four
do
times.
you like it in the
Overseas.
do you like it in the do you like it in the butt?" And she said no. And then he said, "Oh, come on, try it," or something like that. And she said no. And the next thing she knew, she had a dick up her ass.
And she was crying in the pillow.
And she was crying in the pillow. And then she
In
went
another
back
country?
and cried in the pillow 3 more times. You know, that's the part. You don't go back. You know, she went, well, I was.
But she said she was worried about her job.
She didn't work for Matt Lauer. She worked
But he had
she
power.
worked for Meredith Vieira, who was hired to go to Sochi as an independent contractor, but was not a member of the Today Show team. And
But see, here's my whole point, though, is if I found out tomorrow that I'd lose my job unless my boss ass fucked me,
yeah,
I would not.
Did it hurt?
I would not go there. I'm sorry. Some people might like it. That's fine, but I'm not like that. I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't do that. I would say, you know what? I'll see you in court, buddy.
but they didn't even work in the
Jason,
same. They
did
didn't
it hurt?
work in the same environment. You know, Meredith Vieira. I don't know. She was an independent contractor. I don't know where she was working at the time, and she was the assistant to Meredith Vieira. So going back second, third, fourth, and fifth
And
times,
that's what I heard, that she was afraid for her job
she was afraid for her job.
because of his influence.
Oh, he's going to tell Meredith Vieira you got to fire her because she wouldn't let me butt fuck her. You know, I mean,
It sounded more like a rape, not a consensual thing, from the way it was described.
The way she described
The first
it.
one,
But
they
again, if you get raped, do you go back for seconds, thirds, and fourths, and fifths? And I know that you're going to say, oh, well, you know, this is the way the psychology of this kind of situation goes.
I mean, she's a victim.
But no, I know a lot of women who've had a bad situation with a guy, and they just never went back and had anything to do with that man again. Have you
why I
ever
never
had
did a
that
second
happen,
date.
Kathleen, where you had some guy who forced himself on you and you didn't want to do it, and it was an ugly, horrible situation?
No, you know I mean,
the
worst that ever happened to me
besides the
is
times
when I
you.
was at UPS.
Yeah, I'm
getting
saying.
a drink of water
Yeah.
at the drinking
Yeah.
fountain, and this one dude, Toby Chavez, came up behind me and slapped my ass and went to the break room. And I followed him in there, and I grabbed him, and I slammed him up against the machine, and the place was full. And I told him if he ever did that again, I'd kick him in the nuts so hard it would lodge his cock up his ass. And then I realized
God, I love you.
everybody was looking at me, and then I just dropped him and walked out.
Did he reach around and slap your ass again?
No, man, because by that time,
But I was
you know,
going to
I
say,
had a reputation.
was it ever?
You're like Xena Warrior Princess.
Totally.
Did you ever have a time that was so ugly that it was, you know, it was
Never.
like except when you dated me?
Yes.
You know, I make that exception. You know.
No, never. I would never put myself in that situation.
But if it did happen, you wouldn't go back for more, would you?
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Yeah. You
No.
know, I mean, I just find this, and I don't like Ronan Farrow. I think he will believe anything somebody wants to tell him that looks like it's going to get him another Pulitzer. You know.
As soon as I heard his name was involved, that like just discredited the story, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the lady could at least have bought some extra lube or something like that.
Yeah. But I mean,
technically, you know, how to
Technically.
solve problems.
Yeah, time out.
you know, I mean, at what point is it rape, and at what point is it suddenly a consensual relationship?
Look,
if it
he
keeps
threw
going
her
on
up
and on?
against the wall. He
Yeah.
pulled up her dress, and he stuck his dick up her ass. That sounds like rape to me.
Except that
Oh,
rumor
sometimes
has it,
women
she
like
said
it.
she cried into the pillow. So did she have the pillow up against the wall?
No, that could have been afterwards. They didn't give you a timeline.
Was there a witness?
So you're telling
How do we
me
know
if
this
Matt
happened?
Lauer were to run for president, you would most definitely vote for him?
Yeah, right. Well,
No,
because
he didn't grab her by the pussy. He shoved it
no,
up
because
her ass.
because this is the new normal for the United States, Josh. You know. So anyway,
Sounded like rape to me.
Yeah.
How does he know this happened? How does he know? Ronan Farrow.
Oh,
How does
he was
Ronan
there.
Farrow?
But how does it sound like rape when she goes back and has sexual relationships with him multiple times afterwards?
I don't think that's the MO of a woman who gets raped, that she goes back for more.
I think they
Because what
said
did she
that
say?
they
She
dated for a
was
couple of
drunk?
months. Didn't they say they dated?
Yeah, they dated for a couple of months after that incident.
Okay, so maybe she thought there was something there, but he was married.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were having an affair.
Yeah, and what he says is, yes, it all happened,
Yeah.
but it was all
But it was consensual.
But it was consensual.
And it may have been. Maybe this is a payday. What's her situation right now, employment-wise?
I don't know, but I mean, it's just that I want to believe her. I think we always should go out of our way to believe a woman who makes these kinds of claims. I think that too many times over the years they haven't been believed.
Why wouldn't you believe Matt Lauer?
when
he's so trustworthy.
But when you've got this woman and she goes back 4 other times to have sex with him, and her corroborator and the woman she told the story to was Ann Curry, who got fired at NBC because Matt Lauer didn't want her around, so she's got a hard-on for Matt Lauer. It just is it's all kind of hinky. And then it's Ronan Farrow, which gives me the willies. What do you think, Tom?
I'm staying out of this conversation. I don't know anything about this.
Oh.
I haven't read the book. I'm not going to pass judgment until I get a chance to get more information. I'm just staying out.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, but this should not be.
Maybe she went back.
Huh?
All right. So maybe she went back and he said, "Oh, I promise I won't put it up the butt anymore. It was an accident." And then boom,
It just fell in there.
Fast one.
Well,
And then
it's no laughing situation, but on the other hand, I think that we have to, we're too quick to judge. And I feel it's not like I feel sorry for Matt Lauer, but I feel kind of sorry for Matt Lauer.
He was blinded by the light. He hit the wrong
Wrapped
spot.
up like a douche.
Well, it's just it's just that because Ronan Farrow wrote it in a book doesn't necessarily make it true. I think everybody's giving Ronan Farrow because he wrote the. Here's the thing: he wants.
His father's Jewish.
Wait a
He
minute,
wouldn't
let
lie.
me explain the third leg on this broadcast stool. He went after, in this book, NBC for not doing proper diligence in this case, okay? Although they fired Matt Lauer the day after they found out about it, okay? But he just savages NBC. And he savages NBC because he goes back to the story that he was going to do on Harvey Weinstein when he was working at MSNBC. Who hired him, by the way, as an anchor and then demoted him to just a reporter because he was such a terrible anchor. He was just a horrible anchor. But he came up with the story on Harvey Weinstein. But he didn't have any materials to prove it. And so, the lawyers at NBC look at the material that they hand him and they say, we can't do the story yet because this material isn't vetted. It's just all rumors and stuff that you're going by, and a company like NBC, they're careful about crap like this. So he left NBC.
What I heard today.
He left NBC, and he went.
I heard today that NBC, Ronan Farrow was accusing NBC of covering this up to protect Weinstein.
Well, yes, that's what he's saying. But they wouldn't do the story, and they said they wouldn't do the story because it wasn't vetted enough. Well, he went over to New York. He went over to New York Magazine, and he got more stuff so that he could prove it, and he published it. But he was always had a hard-on for NBC for not letting him run the story. But they didn't want him to run the story till he had the proof, not because it was Harvey Weinstein. Well, because it was Harvey Weinstein, they knew that there would be a lot of litigation in there if the story were a lie. Okay, and that they just wanted everything legally that they could have at their disposal to be able to prove the story if they ran it. And Weinstein had deep pockets, and would probably turn around and try and sue them. And they wanted to be able to say, well, you can sue us, but here's the material. We can prove you did this. Okay, and Ronan Farrow always had a hard-on for him because he wanted to go with the story when he didn't have enough proof. So.
Tom's got
yes, Tom.
I have a question then.
Yeah.
He had the sources he needed with New York Magazine.
Yeah.
But he didn't have them with NBC.
Yeah, because he was about a year.
What was the difference? I mean, obviously.
Well, a year. He wasn't going into New York Magazine with the same stuff. He had in the intervening time, which was maybe 6 months to a year, gone out and dotted his I's and crossed his T's, and then went in New York Magazine, who probably had a lower bar, because they weren't as corporate as NBC, who said, okay, we can publish this, and they did, and he won a Pulitzer for it, and it was a sensational story. But NBC, I think, was very right in not running it at that point. Their whole point was, we told them to go back and get more stuff. They weren't trying to protect Weinstein. And that's Ronan Farrow's take on it, because he's pissed off. Fuck him,
They basically wanted evidence beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah. I think we should do a book about how he's Frank Sinatra's son.
I can't believe somebody hasn't secretly.
Doesn't Ronan Farrow look like a little boy?
He
looks like a little boy.
He looks like Barron Trump. I'm sorry.
No, he doesn't look like Barron Trump.
Yeah, he does.
Barron Trump doesn't look like Donald.
Looks like a little boy. How old is he?
Huh? He
looks so young.
He's how old is he? I wonder.
Probably 12, 13.
Yeah.
Oh no, the Ronan.
No, Barron.
Barron?
Oh,
yeah,
Barron.
he's
Yeah,
12.
Like 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever notice?
Every now and then Ray Renati's head just looks like this floating head in the abyss of blackness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. This is Woody Allen around the same age as Ronan Farrow.
Yeah.
You should see the resemblance.
No.
All right.
I've never seen this guy. I'm gonna have to look him up.
Huh?
I said I've never seen.
Oh, I'm sure you'll see Ronan Farrow any second now, because Phil is
thank you, Phil.
looking him up.
There. See the resemblance?
Yeah, that looks just like Ronan Farrow. I'm sorry, I was so wrong to even.
Just like his father.
Yeah,
I get Ronan Farrow.
Yeah. But no, I mean, rumor has it that he's Frank Sinatra's son, and I think there's a good chance of that. I don't know if Frank was still seeing her when she was going with Woody. That's the problem. But it
just looks so much alike. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know how you.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
He looks more like Frank Sinatra's son than Frank Sinatra Jr. did.
Okay.
Oh,
totally. Ronan Farrow.
No, that's Matt. That's Matt Lauer, Phil.
Very funny.
Jeez. No, get a picture of Ronan Farrow.
Okay, I'm getting it.
Yeah, get one.
Oh no, this is a video. I don't want that.
You don't want that. You just want to go to Ronan Farrow and then hit
here
images.
We go.
Very nice, Ray.
It's Halloween.
Okay, there's okay. That's not Frank Sinatra's son.
Nah, I see the resemblance. It's Matt Lauer's son.
Yeah, right. No, is that or is that not Frank Sinatra's son?
Okay, we get a young Frank Sinatra here.
Well, we don't need a young Frank Sinatra. You get a Frank
It's
Sinatra.
the mouth and everything. It's exactly the same shape.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, you're gonna get a picture with Frank Sinatra. We all know what Frank Sinatra looks like, Phil. Yeah, look at that.
Okay, you got that.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see if I can get back to the other one. And this. No resemblance whatsoever.
Oh, yeah, no resemblance whatsoever. Right. Yeah, sure.
Blue eyes. Come on, what color is Woody Allen's eyes?
Yeah. But anyway, we lost Frank.
That's a good question. What color is Woody Allen's eyes?
What color is Woody Allen now?
What was the song about?
Wait a minute. Let's see Ronan Farrow again. What color are his eyes? If they're blue,
I'm pretty sure.
They
look blue.
Yeah.
They're blue.
That's Frank. Okay. Come on.
All right.
To begin with, Woody Allen had features that were, I think, more dominant than Mia Farrow's. Okay, so that does he have blue eyes?
He's got Betty Davis eyes.
Yeah. or no, who's the other guy, that comedian that had bulging eyes? It was a
Marty Feldman.
Marty Feldman eyes. Yes. He's got Marty Feldman eyes.
Yeah.
Look at that. You see the resemblance?
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, it's just the glasses. That's all that's doing it.
Yeah. Otherwise, he'd look just like Ronan Farrow.
Yeah.
You're out of your fucking mind. I gotta tell you. What can I tell you? But I felt this whole thing with this book of his is just kind of skeezy. And
skeezy. I learned a new word, skeezy.
I mean, I wish that we would look upon things, that when we take things, we take them into a court of law and we prove them or disprove them. And we don't sit around writing books about what might have been, and that's what bothers me. I think.
This is Woody Allen.
Who's that? That's Ronan, is the younger man? Yeah.
Brought to you from Skeezy Publications.
Skeezy Publications. It's the skis factor.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, anything you wanted to talk about? Because we got 1 minute left, Tom.
Well, as I said, I've been sort of out of it today. I mean, the last I heard was that two friends of Rudy Giuliani were trying to get on to a plane to Vienna, and were stopped by the FBI. Or actually, no, it was the district?
Southern District of New York. Yeah,
because they didn't want to get them away.
And they were supposed to testify.
In an investigation regarding funneling lots of money into the Republican Party when they themselves are not very good for paying their own debts.
Well,
so there's a lot of interesting stuff here. I don't know if anything's happened else today. Has anybody heard anything more on those arrests? They arrested 3 people and they're looking for a 4th. And,
I just like how that guy Fruman thought he would be clever and change the last name to Furman.
Yeah, Furman's not a good name to have either.
Yes.
Hey, listen, we're out running out of time here, but boy, it's been fun tonight. Josh, good having you here. Phil, lovely having you here. Kathleen,
Kathleen,
you have been a welcome addition to this program. You've improved it 50%. But don't think that that's helped it, because Phil then comes on and brings it down 50%, so it all evens itself out. Thank you, Phil, for ruining my show once again. Anyway, also thank you to Josh. Thanks to Tom. Thanks to Jeff. You got a bloody nose, Jeff? Or
I think I do.
Oh, okay.
And thank you, Ray, our man in the dark. Boo, you're making me very frightened and scared. Would everybody like to give a big wave goodbye to the audience? And we'll see you all hopefully next week. Come back and see us. All right. That's our citizen panel, folks, for tonight. And I appreciate them. They're really, really good at what they do. Jack Bishop is next with The Intersection, right over all of these same GABNet facilities. He's here with The Intersection. And then next week, we'll be here after Damian Chaplin does his fine little program at 9:30 Eastern Daylight Time. And then I'll be back again on at 10 o'clock. That same night. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.